experience. He carries himself a research experience in chemical synthesis of graphene and its composite, chemical cyanochemical synthesis of nano-binary alloy, looks like a tongue twister to me at the moment, nanoferrets and nanopolymer composite, fabrication of metals, oxide polymer, spintronic devices by E-beam technique, good operational skills of AFM, TEM, SEM, XRZ, XRD, FTIR, BET, DSC, TGA, PBMS, Squid, VCM, whatever it is. So which means that probably Vimlesh sir and Dua sir are smiling here today and seeing how ignorant I am, but I feel that sometimes ignorance is bliss, because at that point of time you are absolutely ready to listen to whatever is being given to you. To speak about sir's education and experience, he is a postdoc, Pohang University of Science and Technology, South Korea. He holds a PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, India, in physical chemistry and nanomaterials. He holds an MSc from Lucknow University in physical chemistry and a BSc from Lucknow University in chemistry, mathematics, and physics. The last time I studied mathematics was when I was in class 12th. After that, I really don't know. As far as his awards is concerned, the CSIR JRF, which is Junior Research Fellowship, which means that he's done wonderfully well in his academics and he's cleared those exams. As far as publications are concerned, I have a list of publications here. We are extremely honored and happy to have you here, sir. And I would request you to kindly come forward and to chair these sessions. Students, give him a huge round of applause.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for kind introduction. So I'm going to talk about this graphene based hybrid material for water purification. Okay, so first I'll talk about the problem related to water. What are the problems related to water? So, what is the problem in the water? If there is a change in the water, like biological or physical or chemical, any change in the water, so that is called the water pollution. So, if you think about the data, means around 1.2 billion people, they don't have the safe water. Okay. And second, around 4,000 children, they are dying every day due to water related disease. So this water problem is coming from where? comfortable नहीं है, ये मैंने कभी use नहीं किया यार. ये use करना है क्या? Natural problem. And second, man-made. Means natural problem is coming from the natural deposits. Whatever we have the natural deposits, like arsenic. Arsenic, maybe you know, it is the huge problem across the world. Like in Bangladesh. So if think about the Bangladesh, around 80% groundwater is arsenic polluted in Bangladesh. So natural deposits, whatever we have, like if we have some natural deposits of radioactive material or heavy metal ions, so due to rain, these are decaying and going to rivers or lake. So we are using this material, this water, having different type of contamination. So this is the one thing. And second, hello. वो नहीं पॉइंटर नहीं पॉइंटर दे दीजिए. ओके, पॉइंटर भी दे दीजिए. हेलो. So second is the chemical or biological, which is coming from. अभी तो यार ये बहुत प्रॉब्लम कर रहा है. आवाज नहीं. हेलो. Okay. which is coming from the chemical or biological. Chemical means it is coming from the industry. Like if you think about the industry, so think about the leather industry basically. So leather industry, there are two places. One is in the Kanpur and other one is the famous place, Bhatinda. Maybe you heard about this. So if someone know about the Bhatinda, so Bhatinda, the water problem is यार problem हो रहा है heart problem or skin problem. Latest news, if you think about the two phenomena, one is the Fukushima accident in the Japan. So what will happen? They are using lot of water for the cooling of the reactor. So there was one of the radioactive element called the strontium-90. It is the radioactive element. So water was contaminated by this radioactive element. So there was no solution. How to take out this radioactive element? So finally what they did, they discarded whole water in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, there was no solution. So you know this radioactive element, they have the half-life period. This radioactive element has the 27 years. It will survive for 27 years. So recently, maybe right now we don't have any problem with this, but in future we don't know what problems we are going to get with this element. And second, Louisiana accident. You heard about this one also in US, Mexico. There was an oil spill on the sea level. But right now we don't have any solution. We don't have any solution how to take out this oil from the sea surface. If you have some idea, you can suggest now if someone is having. But we don't have any solution to take out this oil from the surface of this sea water. And also we don't have any solution So we don't have the solution how to take out this strontium if it is in the water. These are still the challenges we have. Strontium, this is the radioactive element. So most of the labs, they don't allow to work on the radioactive element because it is very, very risky. But here we can work. So many guys, they are thinking about this issue. Means what possible solution we can have for this one. So what I am thinking about this one, if we make some material which only absorb this oil, okay, absorb this oil and not absorb the water. We have to make some material which is hydrophilic for the oil and hydrophobic for the water. Means we have to do selective filter. We have to make some selective filter which can absorb the oil and not absorb the water. So this is the one issue which I am thinking to work on this one. But what I did, I work on the arsenic issue. Arsenic issue. If water is having the arsenic problem, then how we did the treatment? How will do the treatment? Okay, if water is arsenic contaminated. So I'm going to talk about this. Arsenic exists in the water in two forms. One is the arsenite form, this, and second is the arsenate form. Two forms are there. If you think about the industry, computer industry, they use the gallium arsenide based semiconductor. Maybe you know about this one, gallium arsenide based semiconductor. So arsenic, it is also coming from this computer industry. Also, there are also arsenic based superconductor. Arsenic based superconductor. And also we have the natural deposits of the arsenic. So arsenic is coming from the natural deposits. So if you drink the water having the arsenic concentration 1 milligram per liter, less than 1 milligram per liter, so you are going to end up with cancer, Okay. If you see the map across the world, so it is not the one country problem. It is the problem of whole world. But major in Bangladesh. So it is the news from BBC. Okay. You can see around 77 million. They have this arsenic. They already drunk the water having the arsenic. So if you go in the Google and put the arsenic problem and just see the images. So most of the images you see showing the hand, they are having lot of infection on the skin. So that is due to drinking of the arsenic contaminated water. So how we purify this water if we have the arsenic? Because in Bangladesh, basically around 80% water, groundwater, that is the arsenic contaminated. So for drinking they need to purify. Also second thing, here if you see this red sign, if you visit the Bangladesh you can see the two symbol. If you see the hand pump. So one is the green mark and one is the red mark. So if it is the red mark, it means water is not safe. Okay, don't drink the water from that. So if it is having the green mark, then that is the having the safe water. You can drink the water from that. So you know this arsenic. So I'll talk about this graphene because I developed the material based on the graphene. Actually graphene is the new discovery. Maybe you heard about this one. This got the Nobel Prize in 2010. Even this was the, people are working on this issue from last maybe more than 70 years. But 2004, one group from this University of Manchester, UK, Professor Jain and Novoselo, they isolated this graphene. Graphene is nothing. It is one sheet of the graphite. Graphite you know. Graphite has the layer structure. So many layers. Here if you see here, so many layers. Here I am showing the 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. Here you can see 1, 2, 3. If you take out one sheet from the graphite, that is called the graphene. So why it is important, the graphene? Why people wanted to isolate the graphene? Because if you measure the conductivity, means resistance, along the sheet of the this graphite, and if you measure the conductivity perpendicular to sheet of the graphite, so what it will be the difference? Conductivity will be the difference. Okay, along the sheet conductivity is high, but perpendicular it is very low. Because along the sheet, graphene sheet is scattering. What is the resistance? It is just scattering. So along the sheet, this scattering level is very low, but perpendicular scattering level is very high. So that's one of the reason people want to isolate this graphene sheet. So how they did the experiment? Because people tried for 70 years around. What experiment they did? They did very, very easy experiment. Okay, just they took the Scotch tape, this simple tape. Okay, and they took the small piece of graphite, right, and they press many times they press between the tape, this small piece. So what will happen? These sheets isolated, and then they transfer on the silicon you know this word, then they transfer on the silicon these isolated sheets, and then they did some study, AFM study. They observed and measured the thickness. They found, oh, these are the graphene sheet. Because graphene sheet, it is 1 nanometer thickness. Thickness is 1 nanometer. So they isolated like this. And for this discovery, they got the Nobel Prize in 2010. So we also use this graphene sheet to make the hybrid material to isolate this arsenic ions. Why we use this graphene material? Because graphene is environment friendly. It is the carbon based material. So carbon based materials are environment friendly, and second, it is having the high stability, carbon, and third is the high surface area. Surface area, you know the adsorption. If you want to adsorb something, if the surface area is high, then adsorption will be high. If it is low, then adsorption will be low. So we develop the material based on this graphene. This is the single sheet having the thickness around 1 nanometer and having the surface area is very high. This one you know, this arsenite and arsenic, these two ions, arsenite and arsenate, they are the anions in the water. So if you want to adsorb the anions, negative charge, what you need? You need some cation. Okay, any material which is having the surface charge is cation, then this will be adsorbed. Electrostatic interaction I am talking. If it is anion, so if you have some material which is having the cation on the surface, it will bind with this one, because this is the electrostatic interaction. Okay, plus and minus. So it will be the electrostatic interaction. But this material, iron oxide, it is well known. People use this material from long time, okay, to adsorb the arsenic. But the problem is, this had the low surface area. Surface area is very high. So if surface area is high, then adsorption will be less. And second, stability problem. Stability, if you use this material, nanomaterial for a long time, so it will go to other phase, it will decompose. And third, if you are using in the flow water, then these are the nanoparticles. This will flow with the water. Okay. So instead of getting the clean water, you get this iron oxide contaminated water. So for this, to freeze this issue, we did the graphene coating. Graphene coating. Or we developed the hybrid material graphene and this Fe3O4. So when we did this graphene, what will do? The graphene will support this one, because graphene is having high surface area. So surface area of these particles will increase. So let's suppose you have the water which is having the arsenic. Okay. So disperse this composite, this iron oxide and graphene in the water. This black one is the composite. Also it is magnetic, because this is the iron oxide. Any material based on the iron, generally it is magnetic. So there are two ways if you want to use isolate this adsorbent. One, you do the filtration, use the filter paper, and second, use the magnet. Okay. So if the adsorbent is magnetic, you can use the magnet and you can separate out. So what will happen if you put the magnet, the whole arsenic in the water, it will adsorb on the composite, is graphene and iron oxide hybrid material, and like this you can get this arsenic free water. Okay. So this is the method what we did, how we did the graphene synthesis. So we use some chemical route, means if you have the graphite, simple graphite piece, if you want to make the graphene, what you can do the oxidation, and like this you can get the graphene oxide. If you have the graphene oxide, then you can reduce, and then you can interface with the iron oxide using this route. So like this you can develop this Fe3O4 graphene composite. Okay. So if you have the composite and if you have the arsenic contaminated water, you disperse this composite and then you can do the magnetic separation, and like this you can get. This is arsenic free water. This is maybe not very useful for you, but one thing here you can see, this is the graphene sheet here. This is maybe, because this is the AFM image, atomic force image. So if you measure the thickness along this, if you want to know the thickness, what is the thickness of this material or if this layer, so if you scan along this one, you can see this vertical height, it is around 1.32 nanometer. So if you want to measure some thickness, what is the thickness of the sheet at the nanoscale, then you have to use this atomic force microscopy. So here it is showing that this is around 1.32 nanometer. Other things not very informative for you. Also this material, graphene sheet, is the transparent. Graphene is the transparent. If you see here this image, so POSTECH is written behind this. But you can see, you can read. So this material is also useful in the touch panel, touch window. This is also, maybe you don't know about the XRD, so no need to talk about this one, non-interesting thing. This is FTIR, also you don't know much about this one. This is the TM image. Means people are talking about the nanomaterial. So how you know about this is the nano size? How you know about this is the nano size, nano dimension? So if any particle you want to know, it is nano size or it is micro size, you have to do this analysis, transmission electron microscopy, TM analysis. So when you do this one, here you can see these are the iron oxide nanoparticle. These are the iron oxide nanoparticle, and you can see this is the graphene sheet. So nanoparticles are interfaced with the graphene sheet, and if you want to measure the size of individual particle, you can do using this method. So here you can see the size of the individual nanoparticle is around 10 nanometer. Okay. So this is the magnetic measurement. You know about this MRAM maybe, magnetic random access memory. MRAM maybe you know, because your background is the computer science, right? MBA. Okay, so MBA. Maybe you heard about this MRAM, magnetic random access memory. So if any material is showing this curve, this is called the hysteresis loop. Okay, if any material is showing this hysteresis loop, that is useful for the memory devices also. Since this iron oxide, it is showing the so it is the magnetic. Any material which is showing this hysteresis loop, that is useful for the this MRAM or magnetic random access memory also. Then we did the adsorption isotherm. Means we studied per gram of this material how much arsenic is going to adsorb. We did the experiment. So what we find, if you see the surface area, it is, in this case, in case of iron oxide, if there is only iron oxide, then surface area you can see it is 25 meters square per gram. But as we increases the graphene oxide loading, means graphene loading, the surface area is increasing. But if you see the arsenic adsorption, it is not increasing. It is increasing up to certain loading, up to 5% loading, then it start decreasing. Because graphene and iron oxide both play the vital role. It is not the only graphene is responsible. If you take the only graphene, no, it is very, very less. So up to here, the resultant composite is showing the high efficiency up to here. Then it is decreasing. Then we did some comparative study, means you can see here y-axis. So maximum arsenic adsorption, what we found it is 12 milligram per gram. Means if you want to adsorb 12 milligram of arsenic, you need 1 gram of the hybrid material. So we absorb like this way. This is no need. आवाज नहीं. Then we publish this paper in international journal. Maybe you know about the journals. Okay. Journals, everyone is working for the journal. So we publish this article in this journal. So it is from the American Chemical Society. Okay. It is very well known journal. And this work is highlighted, means followed by around 130 scientists. People follow this work. And they reproduce, or they just deform. Instead of putting iron oxide, they put some other oxide. And they also reproduce the same result using the different method. Then this paper was also highlighted into known nanotechnology, nanotech web, and second is the science development. So this work was highlighted here also. So even if you put this arsenic on the graphene in Google, you are going to read this article. If you put the graphene on arsenic adsorption on the graphene, you are going to get this information. Then second, we develop for the mercury. If water is having the mercury contamination, then how we are going to adsorb? Because previous I talked about the anion, like arsenic anion. And now if you have some cation like mercury or chromium or lead or cadmium or any other cation in the water, then how you purify that water if water is having this contamination? So if you have some cation